pictures hold up. Reviews. The iPhone 13 Pro Max have some of the high-quality cameras ever seen on a telephone, imparting for video recording and ultrawide and a 3x telephoto lens. With lots of its photographic functions like deep fusion, trickling all the way down to other iPhone fashions, which includes the today's $429 iPhone C. You might be thinking how large of a distinction there's inside the cameras among Apple's least pricey and most steeply priced iPhones, especially because both phones include Apple's trendy A15 chip that powers Apple's computational photography gear like Smart Idea. Although the iPhones hasn't married rear digital cameras compared to 3 at the iPhone 13 Pro, these phones have more in commonplace than you might assume once you peerance past the apparent hardware differences. I spent a week comparing these phones for taking landscape selfies, pictures, remote pictures, and full video. Clearly, watch the video on this webpage for a complete face-by-face comparison of snapshots from both the phones with greater element on the zoom talents, macro pics, and video samples. Landscapes and appearance exceptional on each of phones. Imperfect lighting fixed situations. It's tough for any current telephone to take a terrible photograph, but given the iPhone 13 Pro substantially newer hardware, I changed into amazed that the iPhones produces snapshots that are certainly pretty near those from the more steeply priced smartphone, but have smarter on board, and each does a great task of balancing shadow and highlight detail. While the dynamic variety of the iPhone C sensor is not as true because the greater high-priced telephone in extra challenging light situations, the difference isn't as dramatic as the rate difference would lead you to believe. The iPhone 13 Pro additionally has a bigger image sensor than the iPhones on its major huge camera, which means that you may get a more shallow intensity of subject in some shots. Take a look at the photo under, where enough accused at the fence put up in the foreground to provide you an idea of how every phone renders the history. But telephones additionally have photographic patterns, which is a preset implemented to snap shots earlier than you taking the shot. It's important to notice this isn't a filter as it's figuring out and applying local edits. I left the fashion on trendy the default for all pics to get a baseline comparison, and I changed into difficult press to inform the difference among the two phones' pics. But in some conditions, mainly pictures of flowers or surely colorful items, I did find this preferred to feature a hint greater saturation to images. Deep fusion facilitates the iPhone C's older hardware maintain up, but phones additionally use deep fusion and picture processing approach designed to help improve detail and readability in medium to low light pictures. While you haven't any manner of telling when deep fusion is activated, the inexpensives can often produce photos that appearance nearly as suitable because the 13 Pro emphasizes of sharpness an element when taking snapshots in medium light conditions or interior. Portrait mode is a clear one for the iPhone 13 Pro. The 13 Pro helps you to use either the huge or the 3x telephoto digital camera to frame your images, while the C Simplest has one perspective from its lens. I discovered the 3x angle is a lot greater flattering for faces than the identical picture on the huge camera. Edge detection is not as sturdy on the C as it by chance blurs or cuts out some info that the 13 Pro identifies correctly, like sunglasses resting on a person's head. There's another apparent advantage the 13 Pro is over the less costly telephone. It lets you take portrait mode images of quite a whole lot, something you want, from pets to plants. Because the C Simplest has a single lens at the lower back, it's not capable of take pics of something but people. You'll see this flag that says no person detected in case you try to take a portrait mode image of any non-human subject. Apple's flagship phone also helps you to shoot in ProRAW format for the maximum flexibility and light for enhancing your pics. The 13 Pro's extensive angle camera additionally helps autofocus. This means that you may get in the direction of your problem and mess around with macro images. While the iPhone 13 Pro has some obvious hardware benefits like a bigger sensor, additional focal length and nighttime mode, I'm nonetheless surprised that the iPhones can keep its very own in lots of classes. Watch the entire comparison within the video in this page.